on. Good experience, great day today. Just with the spring game. First I got to start off with our fans. I mean, just incredible to see how many people were here today. The excitement, the energy within the building was pretty special. And with the weather that came through this morning, and I guess the threat of what could have come, to see everybody show up and have tremendous energy, and it was really grateful for all of our fans and everybody that came in to watch our guys play today. I thought it was a good work day. We wanted to see guys go out there and compete. We wanted to see guys how they would respond in that type of situation. Really pleased with a lot of the young guys. I know there was 3 or 4 of the high school freshmen that that made big plays today, and that's definitely something that's very encouraging. In their first opportunity, with that many people, and obviously the focus of what today has been, but really pleased with that. I thought you saw, especially if I look at the ones group, just kind of the flow of it. The first team offense, early on, was able to move the ball, made some really nice plays, extended drives. Scored a couple early touchdowns, and then the first team defense responded and was able to hold to a field goal there throughout the rest of the half. I thought it was a good back and forth. We tried to really push the number of reps that we could get there in that first half, and then once we finished it up, we were having a little bit of fun with the grand finale there. But accomplished all the things that I wanted to see. I thought there was some great physicality out there. Guys were playing with passion. So a lot of things we're going to have to continue to clean up, some mistakes that presented themselves, which will allow us to grow and develop. That's one of the reasons why we actually, this is our 14th practice. We're going to come back tomorrow. We get a chance to watch every play from the scrimmage, get a chance to go out on the field, make corrections, and then, continue to build upon our fundamentals so that we can be in the best position as we go into our summer program there in June. So with that, I'll go ahead and take questions.
The question will be Brennan Seminoles from Noles people.
Hi, Mike. Obviously, last year you guys didn't get the chance to have this game, didn't have a chance to have the spring, to be able to go through almost an entire spring here, no interruptions, to have the fans in the stands. I guess what do you think that this last month or two means for this program moving forward?
Well, it's huge. I know I've said it throughout the course of spring, but I truly believe that your identity as a football team, it starts forming now. And the winter conditioning is big for our program, our tour of duty, building that mental toughness and physical development that's critical. You get out there on practice where you really don't have an opponent. You have yourself, you have your guys fighting the position, and you have your teammates that you're going against every day. I thought our guys, they're starting, the mindset is coming, and the challenge, the embracing the work that's necessary. Everybody in the country right now is talking about the same things. They're talking about what they will be and what they believe they can be. I just want to see it. I want to see it in the work. I don't really care about the message. I want to see how they show up every day and come sit in the meeting room. How do they apply that, out on the practice field, and do they prepare and execute relentlessly throughout the work so that we can be the best version of us. And I'm starting to see guys taking the proper steps so that we can accomplish that.
Yeah, Coach, you spoke about the young guys today. Just talk about Malik McLean and just kind of what you saw from him today.
I thought Malik did some really good things, and he showed up obviously with the big catch there early. That was huge. You never know what it's going to look like. He's had a great spring. He's still had his freshman moments, no question, but to see his response and just that playmaking ability is something that we believed that we were getting when he signed with us. There's no doubt that he's going to put himself in a position as he continues to develop in the summer to be able to help this football team. And to what extent, that's on him. He's got to work, and he's got to prove worthy of that just by the consistency of that play. But really excited that he showed up big today. And I'm going to also give a shout out to Brian Robinson. Brian probably had one of his roughest days of practice. There on Thursday, and missed some opportunities. And part of the challenge was how he's going to respond today, and to be able to finish with a nice catch there and scoring a touchdown. That's what this program is built upon. It's a response to adversity, response to success, because that is truly who you are. Is based off how you respond.
CB Perry from Nation.
Coach, there were a few times that you called the play dead before even the ref realized that it was going to be a sack. Was that more of an interest on your part to prevent injuries or to give them less leeway as far as escaping the pocket?
That's one of the things that going through a spring practice. The quarterback's not being live. I mean, there's going to be some times that it probably calls both ways that will happen. Sometimes it's a sack, sometimes it's not a sack, or the quarterback would will extend. But I care about the situation. I mean, it doesn't matter to me if it's right or wrong. It still gives you an opportunity to have that response. And at the end of the day, if you go from first and 10 to 2nd and 18, whether it was or wasn't, you still get to live out that situation and how you respond there. And I thought that was big. In a couple of those early drives, because the quarterbacks had to overcome a couple of those things. But I thought it was good work, and I really don't get too carried away on the sacks or not sacks. I mean, I try to. For me, it's all about getting the different things we can build from.
Actually, Christine from 0247.
Hey, Mike, kind of following up on Brendan's question about identity, how do you continue that momentum now that you're exiting the spring and heading into those months leading up to the preseason with continuing to do that? And, obviously you weren't able to do that last year with the situation.
You embrace every day. I mean, you carry momentum by doing what's necessary to sustain momentum. And, our momentum will be dependent on the investment we make. So if we want to carry momentum into the summer, well, we got to bring our butts to work every single day, and we got to have that same mindset, that same sense of urgency. Momentum can change in one play. Momentum can change in one day. So as long as we're making the choice to give everything that we have for this opportunity and for what we say that we want to accomplish, then we will. And so that is that's the challenge. And it's it's a daily challenge for our guys. We're about to finish up the spring semester. It's the same thing with what they're doing academically. Just because spring ball is going to be wrapping up here tomorrow. I mean, we've got to finish strong academically. We've got to do all that we can. And whether it was a first class or where we are now, all of them are going to count. So it's the same thing with our workouts as we go into summer conditioning, whether during discretionary time and guys are at home, the choices they make during that period is going to be critical to where they are. And so I'm glad our guys are going to get a few weeks, to really just, kind of almost decompress from this season, and I think that the entire academic year, because it's challenging. To not have a spring break, to have the quick turnaround. We started early in January, and our guys have done a really, really good job, and how they've handled themselves. And so, they're going to get a little time, and then we'll be back to work and continue to push so that we can have that momentum once we get back in fall camp and leading into the first game.
Could be Kurt Weiler from Tallahassee Democrat.
We've seen the ups and downs from McKenzie as he's kind of getting comfortable in the new offense this spring. It seems like today was the best day from him, at least that we've seen. I guess how nice was that to see from him as he's kind of, I'm sure, getting more comfortable within the offense?
It's just continued growth, like you said. I mean, I thought Thursday's practice was one of his best practices that he's had. So that should happen. With more repetition. Just that comfort, that understanding. He's a very seasoned player. You see the same thing with Jordan. As those guys are, you take the experiences that Jordan got last year and kind of how he's growing and developing, and his ownership of the offense. And there's still things that all those guys are going to have to clean up, but they embrace the day. And whenever they make a mistake, I mean, they do that. They receive the information and then they work to apply it so that they're not making the same mistake twice. And those are the things that you like to see in competitors. And Tate's doing that. Chubba's doing a great job of that mentally. Just even though he's not able to go through things right now, but you see that quarterback room taking ownership of their performance, whether it's in the classroom or it's out there on the field, and it gives you a great chance to be successful.
All right, next will be Ira.
What are some of the things you've seen from the defense over the course of these 14, soon to be 15 practices throughout the spring? Overall, big picture from the defense.
I like what I'm seeing. The steps up front. I think Jermaine Johnson. He showed even early today that he is a force to handle there. Off the edge in the run game and the passing game. I think Dennis Briggs, Fabian Lovett. I mean, those guys are a year stronger, a year more confident through just the understanding of what we're asking them to do schematically. Derek McClellan's actually, he's had a really nice spring, and just with the opportunity that he's been presented, I think he's continuing to grow and get better. Just the constant competition is pushing guys to improve, and it's just, it's trusting those fundamentals, play in, play out, knowing where you need to be, and then being able to apply the fundamentals in the moment. And I thought there's some great open field tackles at times, and then there's some that we missed because of truly just a fundamental breakdown. And you guys have to learn from that. But I think that we have just playmakers there in the defensive backfield. A guy that showed up today that I gave up an early play, but I thought responded was Akeem Dent. And Akeem's somebody that I want to see really kind of take that next step. He missed a couple weeks here in the middle of spring ball, but I thought that was critical. Was that when he gave up the early play, he didn't stay there. He came back, he responded well, continued to compete and do the things necessary. But I like this group. I like the defense. I like we're going to get a couple of guys. We got to get back and get healthy. But I think these guys are starting to play with that edge that's necessary, and really being able to trust upon each other to do the job that's required.
Next will be Max Moody.
There we go. Hey, sorry about that. Hey, Coach, Max Moody with Locked On Seminoles. Can you talk a little bit about DJ Williams' performance today? I mean, coming in as a transfer, he looked extremely versatile in the offense, catching passes, running up the middle. Can you just talk about sort of what you've seen from him being on campus already and what his role is going to be going forward?
And DJ was somebody that we wanted to see more of today. He was kind of hobbled throughout the first part of spring. Had a slight ankle that just really wasn't able to do as much as we'd like, and especially in the early scrimmages. So we held Jay Sean. Jay Sean got the bulk load of the work in the second scrimmage and did a phenomenal job, and he's had a great camp. But we wanted to see DJ and Lawrence and Trey and let those guys really showcase what they could do. And I think DJ brings a great value to our running back room. He's an extremely hardworking young man, intelligent. He understands what to do in multiple spots. Now it's just getting comfortable in the language, right? And what that is. Understanding the tracks and what we ask from our backs and all that comes with it. But he can play with the low center of gravity. He's tough to tackle, and I thought he had some good plays today, which is what we needed to see, just because we haven't had that opportunity, throughout the spring. So that was a good day for him.
Next will be Matt Baker from McKenzie Milton.
Mike, now that you're one practice away from the end of spring, what's your assessment of the quarterback position? Has anyone kind of separated themselves in that?
I felt really good about the quarterback room. I think that these guys have all shown that they're growing and they're getting better. I think that McKenzie finished up this last week. He's done a really nice job of just trusting the process of growth. And Jordan Travis I think had a phenomenal spring. I'm really excited about the steps he's taken as a passer and understanding. So it's going to be a fun battle to watch. We get Chubba back cleared here for the summer, so he'll be a full participant there. And I liked what I saw from him in the first week, but we wanted to make sure this thing was 100% as we got going into the summer workouts. But excited to get him back in the room, and those guys are going to push each other, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I know Tate got some learning experiences just in situations today that he's going to be able to build upon. I like that room though.
All right, we got 4 more, so that'll wrap us up. Go back to Brendan.
I might kind of following up on the quarterback room, the competition that McKenzie and Jordan kind of pushing each other throughout this spring. I guess how good was that for both of those guys to kind of keep always responding like we saw today?
That's what it should be. And, yes, the quarterback room in that position is always a unique dynamic because, for the most part, one guy's going to play at a time. And so, that's where, that everybody wants to be that guy. Everybody wants to be a leader. But when you can embrace the competition, that's going to push you to respond. And, these guys have just gotten better and kind of, kind of fed off of each other and helped each other. And when you're able to help somebody that you're in a competition with, I mean that speaks volumes to who you are as an individual, and that's what we want. I mean, you play quarterback at Florida State, you better be in a competition, because that's something that we are going to have right. That room is going to be one. That's what this program has been built off of incredible quarterbacks, and I'm excited about what we have. I'm excited about what's coming, and that's something that we're going to continue to develop as these guys are going through it. But that competition is what makes it special.
All right, next we Corey Clark.
Corey, mute. No.
You've been requested.
I got you. How about now? You got me now?
Yes.
Good now? Sorry, bud. Kevin Knowles, I know you're probably not excited about a quarterback throwing an interception, but that was a DB going and making a play on a ball when it was in the air. I guess just talk about him being a freshman, true freshman, embracing the moment like he did today with 2 big tackles for losses.
Oh, I thought Kevin was outstanding, and he's a guy that I've been really, really excited about. I know on signing day, I was there in December. I spent a lot of time kind of talking about him, because I just think he's a very unique player, and the fact that he does it all well here at this early in his career. He's still got some things physically as he develops, but I mean his attitude, his approach. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's from his academic coaches, and his approach to that, to Coach Storms in the weight room, to our athletic training, everybody that he's around, and he has such a positive influence, and he wants to be coached. He is hard on himself, but I thought he rose to the occasion today, and he's had a good spring. Kind of been mirroring Jamie a lot throughout the course of spring, and he's got flexibility to play a variety of different positions in our defense. But we wanted to get to kind of force feed him the repetitions, and that's what's been nice to see, just how he's responded, and to play like he did today was great. I think that he's got a very bright future in front of him, and we're excited that he's going to be a Garnet Gold.
All right, we'll go back to Chris Meade.
Hey, Mike, wanted to ask you about the O-line group. I know they're pretty banged up right now, but especially that first team group you ran out there today, a lot of young guys. How did they develop over those 14 practices? And I know it's tough to get a read because of continuity issues and whatnot.
And that's one of the things we knew going into spring, that when you got Devontae, Babion missed the first part of it. We've had some guys in and out, and that's part of it. But we knew that the continuity wasn't going to be something that was going to. That execution might not be where it absolutely needs to be, but the fundamental development is something that's big. And I was glad today we got to throw Lloyd Willis out there with the first group some, bumped Darius down, it allowed us to look at a couple of different combinations. So I like where our guys are headed. Yes, we are young. There's no secret to it, but you see them developing. You see, we've got to be more consistent in our execution. We got to be more consistent and trusting our fundamentals. But these guys, they're hungry, and they know what's in front of them. They know the challenges of what we need to do, but they are absolutely competing with themselves and within their group to be that, to be a group that we know that we can count on. And I'm excited. We've got to have a great summer with them, no question about it. But it's going to be great to see Devontae, who's definitely a leader of that group, be able to get back here this summer, and then just as those guys continue to merge and gel together. And so I think it's a great group for the years to come, as well as what we plan on seeing here in 2021.
Right. Last one will be Aslan Hadramandy.
Hey, Coach, I'm just wondering, the teams that you've had in the fall that have been some of your most successful teams, was it stuff that you could feel and see and sense in the spring? And what do you feel that you guys have kind of sown and hope to reap from the spring?
I think yes in the spring, because you saw those characteristics of work, you saw those characteristics of relationship, you saw those characteristics of response. It is a critical part of your team's development, but it's all phases. It's you can have a great winter conditioning program for spring ball, and if you let up, slack off, or you don't continue to push or continue to climb like necessary, you're not going to ever fulfill what you're capable of. And our teams throughout the years have been teams that have finished, teams that have played their best ball at the end, because they trust that process. And that's what we're looking for. And I will say that through 14 practices of spring, there's been a lot of positives. There's also been a lot of things that are glaring that we need to continue to improve on and continue to develop and I guess enhance our understanding of what we're trying to do. And that's the part of our job as coaches and part of the responsibility of players to get that done. But we know that the summer program and fall camp are going to be critical. And then every game that we get, we're going to have to improve. But, I do like the steps that we've seen. And so, yes, with those teams, those championship level teams, those teams that have put themselves in that contention, you have to have a great spring to be able to do that. And, I think our guys are taking those positive steps.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.